Welcome to The Kindness Project, the podcast designed to share stories of kindness and share how kindness can make positive change in our world, one small act at a time.
This week on The Kindness Project, we talk about enthusiasms, emotions, and part one of the interview with Mark Bryant.
Welcome to The Kindness Project. I'm joined by a girl who, according to her, I've got way too much hype.
I literally just said that.
I know. That's why I used it as an intro, because it's relevant. It's relevant because I've got a lot of hype.
Too much hype.
Too much hype. What is too much hype?
You're too hyper.
What is
too much energy consumed in your giant man baby body.
You just call me a man baby. What is the problem with being just a little bit enthusiastic?
You're not just a little bit enthusiastic.
What?
You are so enthusiastic. I wouldn't be surprised if you blew this house up.
Right. What is the problem with being enthusiastic?
Too enthusiastic.
What
You can be enthusiastic.
what counts as too enthusiastic?
Turn the dial down.
From what to what?
From 10 to 5.
I'd rather turn it up to 11.
What if 11 blows the house up?
It won't blow. Right, enthusiasm has never created an explosion. Ever.
Not by itself, but bad ideas and enthusiasm don't go.
Blowing off in a match has created an explosion, but enthusiasm has never created an explosion. Would you like to do your intro?
Nah, it doesn't seem to work anymore.
Or have I got way too much hype for your intro?
Yeah, because you're just gonna
Do your intro. Go do your intro.
Old age made him emotional. It's Chris James.
The man with too much hype and too much emotion, apparently.
Yep.
I don't know if it was old age that made me emotional, but I am a lot more emotional than I used to be. Definitely. Are you?
No.
No. You're less emotional
I'm
now,
less
aren't you?
emotional.
Since when?
Since, I don't know, 10, 11.
Oh, the heady days when I was 10, now I'm 15. Oh, those were the days, Charlotte.
Those were the days.
Those were the days. I had hair and you had
Not. Got hair.
not hair. Now you have. Yeah, you've got long hair now, haven't you? So,
Let's get rid of it all.
can we let out... Right, can we talk merch? Can we talk merch?
It's still there. And it still will be there.
It's still there. It's still available. If you want it, go and get it. You've got T-shirts, polo shirts,
More stuff and more stuff.
loads of stuff, and you can find it all at www.thekindnesproject.co.uk/.
Merch.
Is that how you say it? Merch. We got ourselves some Kindness Project T-shirts, and they're quite cool.
Oh, yeah.
I'm taking mine to Japan this week.
Actually, I already packed my bag. Mine's not in there.
Have you not?
No, I leave it hanging in my wardrobe.
I am taking the Kindness Project T-shirt on tour, and I'm going to get a photo of me wearing it somewhere in
I'll pack
Tokyo.
mine in the bag, but I'll only wear it for sentimental reasons.
What do you mean wear it for sentimental reasons?
Get a picture together.
Where though? You know what I want to get a picture of? Us walking across the busiest street in the world wearing our Kindness... Was it Akihabara? No, Shibuya. Yeah, Shibuya Road with our Kindness Project T-shirts on. That would be amazing. Or is that too hype?
No, that's pretty amazing.
All right, okay, cool.
It's worthy of hype.
Yeah,
It's not worthy of hype. It doesn't get...
But why isn't just like a normal Wednesday or Tuesday worthy of hype?
Because it's Tuesday.
When are you allowed to be hypey?
Thursday onwards.
Thursday till when?
Thursday onwards.
Thursday till what day do we stop being hypey?
Until the hype runs out.
The hype never runs out.
Usually it's Monday.
Usually it's Monday. Monday at what time?
When you wake up.
When you wake up Monday morning. So if I woke up at 3 o'clock on a Monday morning,
you'd want to go back to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, right. Let me understand the hype rules because I'm confused about how much hype I should have. We're starting hype on Thursday.
Because that's the day you realise you've only got 1 day left.
1 day left of what?
The week.
Okay.
Of work.
Okay. I quite enjoy work. So, right, 1 day of the week left. What time on Thursday am I allowed to get hypey?
Lunchtime.
Lunchtime. And what are you saying? 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 12:30? What? 1:10 and 24 seconds. And
That's
what?
when my lunch starts.
And what time? If I get up at 3 in the morning on a Sunday, can I still be IP until most people are up?
On a Monday? No. Home.
On a Monday? No, I'm not.
As soon as you wake up, it's gone.
And that if I never go to bed.
You never go to bed.
If I
It's gone even quicker.
if I stay most of Sunday, wait till Monday morning at 3 before I go to bed, but then at 3:10, just as I'm going to bed, run in and go, I'm hot! How would that go?
I don't know. Will I stab you or will I slap you?
Nice. Charming. I think
I would still be asleep.
you know what's really interesting? I've just looked at how loud that was on the audio equipment we use, with the wiggly line thingy audio equipment we use, and I've got a feeling Russell is going to kill me, and perhaps you, dear listener, because it was very loud. So apologies for that. Would you like to let our listeners know where they can get a hold of us?
Nah, you do it this week. I'm just kidding, I'll do it. You're on Twitter and you put Ola Kindness, and then at Facebook you do Ola Kindness, or is it the Kindness Project? Just one of the two.
Ola Kindness.
Yeah, and then ola@thekindnessproject.co.uk is our email, because we're fabulous people, of course we use email. We're not barbarians.
Only barbarians use the fax. I got a fax the other day. I received a fax. Right? And the only time I ever get a fax, I haven't got a real fax machine. I use an electronic system that emails me a fax. And it was a offer to lease a car. Now, when does that ever work? I know what I'll do, because I run a car leasing firm. I'm going to send 100,000 faxes to see if, in 2019, to see who fancies the new Mercedes. I don't want a car from a firm that sends me a fax. Or is that too hype?
No, that's angry.
Angry.
You're allowed to be angry, you just can't be hyped.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I still don't understand the difference. However, we have got an amazing, or is that too hype, question of the podcast. And it's one that I'm particularly excited about.
You hyped about it?
I'm hyped. Because I'm not allowed to be hyped because it's not Thursday yet. Or Friday or Saturday or Sunday.
Sunday's when the hype starts decreasing, but it's all gone.
But the problem is, this podcast goes out on Thursday. So it's like...
The podcast comes out and everyone's happy.
Yeah, I know, but am I acting like it's Thursday because people are going to be listening to this on a Thursday?
It's Tuesday.
Okay.
It's Tuesday, and I am waiting for the days to go by. 2.5 days!
Yeah, because we're off to Japan soon, aren't we?
Yeah,
that'd be amazing. Friday. So, Saturday, we're flying out. I don't know when you're going on Friday. My flight's on Saturday. Are you flying before me or what?
We're going to the airport hotel thingy.
We are Friday. Yeah, because our flight is early in the morning. However, let me give you a question of the podcast. It's turned into Wish You Were Here or some sort of travel show. Question of the week is, you, Charlotte Dames, are on the final of the Great British Bake Off.
Oh.
You've got Paul Hollywood. You've got Prue. You've got the short woman. You've got Mary Berry's not on it anymore. You've got the short woman. You've got the guy from the weird...
the weird lanky guy.
The guy who's really funny, Noel Fielding, is on it, right? However...
Can we go back to Mary Berry days?
No. You loved Mary Berry, didn't you?
I want to be Mary Berry again.
However... You don't know what to bake for your final showstopper. They've not given you any guidance. You can bake whatever you want. You're under pressure. What are you going to bake?
Cheesecake.
Well, just a normal That's hardly a showstopper, is it?
No.
What? This is a showstopper. This could be the difference between you winning Bake Off or losing.
Like a giant
What am I going to make? I'm going to make a cheesecake.
A multi-tiered cheesecake.
Multi-tiered
With
cheesecake.
people's faces in it.
Right, a Mount Rushmore cheesecake. Is that what you're going to do? A Mount Rushmore cheesecake
I'd do it.
Right, whose face are you going to put in it?
Mine. Yours.
So you're on Bake Off. Who's that? Oh, it's my dad. Why are you putting my face on a cheesecake? I like it. You know what my idea is?
I like it.
I like it. You know what? Just my face on a cheesecake. I like the idea of.
Just your face. My face. Your face. Mum's face. Sophie's face.
Yeah. Paul Hollywood is going, who are these people?
That's my family and I love them to bits. And you're going to eat the cheesecake and enjoy it because it has my love in it.
Yeah, you know what? Paul Hollywood, that's me dad. He's a bit hype, but he's all right. I love him.
That's my family and I love them. And I thought I better show that in this one.
Oh, actually, I like that. Can I tell you my idea?
Yeah.
Right? A massive cake in the shape of a Russian doll. And then you open the cake up. It's got another. Why are you rolling your eyes at that? It's got another Russian doll inside. And then you open that one up, and it's got another Russian doll inside. And then you open that one up. Should I go on and on? I can. I can. But I reckon 8 or 9 Russian dolls, each with different flavours, each looking slightly differently. That would be my idea
Who would you make the Russian dolls off?
I'd make one of you, one of me. If we're going family related, why not just have a family of Russian dolls?
Because we're not Russian.
Yeah, I know, but Russian dolls aren't always in a Russian style, are they?
We're not Russian.
I know we're not. Yeah, I'm not. I've never been on a cheesecake before. That doesn't stop me being on one now, does it? Christ, I know we're not Russian. Right. Anyway, listeners. Would you like to let us know? Don't get too hype because otherwise, you'll get in trouble. But
Tuesday. But you can get as hype as you like because for you it's Thursday.
Yeah, but they might be listening on a Monday.
Don't get hype.
But get as hype as you like. But tell us, what would you choose as your Great British Bake Off finale showstopper?
And what do you think Paul Hollywood would think? Because he's stuck around for a while.
And if you want to put your dad's face in it, then no worries for that. Should we get on with the show?
Let's do it.
So this week on our interview of the week, we've got an amazing guy, a guy called Mark Bryant. Now, Mark used to be a policeman, a detective, and he's got a bunch of amazing stories telling us about his detective. But now, he is a representative for no other than the Queen.
Good on the Queen. She's got...
What do you mean, good on the Queen? Mark's doing the work. The Queen's just sitting at home.
No, she sounds like she's got a pretty spiffy representative.
He's amazing. And I didn't realise this was a job, but apparently... the Queen has representatives around the country for events, to attend events that she can't get to.
Yeah.
So Mark's role is a Lord Lieutenant, and his job is to attend events, and there's 2 in Havering, attend events in Havering on behalf of one person.
Your Majesty the Queen.
Your Majesty the Queen.
Our Majesty the Queen. She may not be Your Majesty.
Shall we listen to the interview?
Yes.
So I'm joined today by Mark. Thanks for coming along, Mark. I really appreciate it. Just want us to have a chat about what you do, some of the stories you can tell us, the work you do as the representative of the Queen. I think that'd be quite interesting to talk about. There's so much, like the years in the police, the years in the Army Cadets, what you've done. But first of all, just tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I was born in Barking in 1946.
Okay.
And my first house that I can recall living was that the houses around had been bombed and it was unfit for habitation.
Yeah.
But the local council built a new estate there called Thamesview Estate.
Okay.
And basically it housed all the Barking people.
Yeah.
And we had a bath.
Okay.
Instead of
Unusual.
Unusual. Nobody had baths. Just a tin bath.
You know what? My dad's from. I'm from Kennington originally. My dad's from Custom House, and it's funny because he's a similar age to you, and I always remember him saying him not having a bath, and me finding that really weird because sort of I've always lived in a house with a bath, and he used to go to the public baths baths.
Yeah, Barking had a public bath.
Yeah, and he used to tell me he used to love going to the public baths, having to shout out a number and go, more hot water on 3. But he used to always shout out his mate's number and give him more cold water. He's going, cold water on 5. He's not even in 5, he's in 2. But yeah, so you had a bath.
I had a bath, but
Yeah.
we still had a bath in a tin bath. Being the youngest,
Gotcha.
I bathed in everybody else's water.
So you were at the end.
I was at the end.
Yeah, gotcha.
So, but it was surrounded by Barking marshes, and I always wanted to be out, and I was always out on the marshes looking for animals
Gotcha.
and stuff like that. And I had a dog, an old mongrel that used to look after us.
Yeah.
And so that's how I spent my life. But a lot of my friends were getting into trouble, and some of them went on to be quite major criminals.
Okay.
Really good friends of mine when I was younger. But I didn't want that.
Yeah.
And I found out about the Army Cadet Force.
Yeah.
So I joined the Army Cadet Force at 12.
Okay.
I really wanted to be in the Air Training Corps, but they wouldn't let you fib about your age.
Okay.
Because you had to be 13. But the Army...
Let you in. Yeah. How old was you at the time? Were you 12?
12.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
Gotcha.
Day one. But I used to take my kit to my uncle's, who was a wartime soldier. It wasn't clean, he'd open the window and throw it out.
Gotcha.
If it was raining,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. So
Yeah.
you soon learn how to do that. But when I was 19, I'd been going out with my wife then for some time.
Okay.
And I got the Queen's Commission. I went up before an old-fashioned War Office selection board, which was quite something for a boy from the council estate, because the chair you sat on was a wooden chair, but they'd cut 6 inches off.
So you were to write
You
down.
were squatting down.
Gotcha.
And the 5 officers that grilled you and questioned you were sitting on a raised stand.
Gotcha.
So you had that as your place.
That is so. That's so on purpose, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, it is. It is to make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah,
And it does bring something out of you.
Gotcha.
You know, if you were shy and retiring, then you wouldn't. But they didn't want shy and retiring.
So it's a test, isn't it?
It was
to
a
a
test.
certain extent.
And
Yeah.
I managed to get through that.
Good.
Much to the surprise of many people.
Okay.
But I got through that, and I became a detachment commander, which was very good. But I went on and stayed with the Army Cadet Force until 4 years ago. So it's
Okay.
over 50 years.
Okay.
And I went from a second lieutenant detachment commander to being responsible for all the Army Cadet Force in London.
Gotcha.
Public schools. I had a regular Army training team of 25 people.
Yeah.
So it was good. But for 20 years of that, I ran an outreach project where we used to take really difficult youngsters that had been in trouble.
From London? Okay.
All over London.
Yeah.
To a battle camp in Wales.
Okay.
Where they trained the special forces.
Okay.
And some of these kids have never used a knife and fork in their life.
Right.
And all they ate was kebabs, KFC.
Gotcha.
That was their life.
Yeah, gotcha.
Carrots they'd never seen. You had to explain what carrots were.
It's mad, isn't it?
So
Yeah.
that was the kids. But nobody ever really shouted at them. And the blokes I had working for me were all from the same background as me. Really tough kids.
Gotcha.
Really the top of their game when it comes to the cadet forces. A lot of them are ex-army that have come into the cadet forces.
Yeah.
So they were really good, and they understood these kids.
Yeah.
And
Because they were from similar environments to them.
by the end of the week, these kids wanted to march, and they were marching around. And really,
So it's a really interesting point you make. Do you think kids from that background want discipline, or do
they
you think
want to belong.
Yeah, they want to be part of the team.
You know, later on, I'll talk about my police service.
Yeah.
A lot of gang culture is they want to belong to a
It's
group.
family, right? It's family. Yeah.
And the rules, they've got rules, they've got their own discipline, not our rules of discipline.
It's hierarchy.
And they want to belong, they want to be part of something.
Gotcha.
And the outreach project was part of something good.
Yeah.
And a lot of the, thank you,
Thanks, Mancy.
a lot of the youngsters went on to come into the Army Cadet Force.
Yeah.
And really, and I've seen some of them
Thrive.
years on.
Yeah.
They've got their own businesses.
Yeah.
And these were kids that everybody rubbished.
But
And I used to say to them, look, I don't care what your background is, today is what counts.
Gotcha.
Tomorrow is tomorrow.
Yeah.
whatever you've done, I don't want
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. But as long as you don't do it from when. And a lot of youngsters, when you said that to them, you could see it was like a light.
Gotcha. How many of those kids define themselves by their past and not their future? Do you know what I mean? It's that
where
sort
they were
of,
brought up.
don't matter. Like that. What you do from here on in is the key, isn't it?
It's the key.
Yeah.
And you can put it's harder. And prejudice is harder.
Yeah.
And they say, but you're right. I say, but don't you think I suffered prejudice when I was young?
Yeah, it was a different...
Because where you lived.
Yeah, it's a different environment, isn't it? Yeah.
But it is different, but it's the same.
Yeah.
They've still got the same barriers
exactly.
when we were youngsters.
Yeah.
But now I think a lot of it is made into an industry.
Gotcha.
And, and they can't seem to break that.
Yeah.
Kids are labelled.
Yeah.
And you've got to change that perspective.
Yeah.
And I always say, look, turn up smart.
Yeah.
Be this, be that. And when you walk through the door, the same as that man.
Yeah.
When I'll speak about that now because obviously we're going back on it. When I left school at 15, I had no qualifications.
Gotcha.
Like many of my generation, we went and did the secondary education. If you were really bright, you didn't get to a secondary school, you went to a grammar school.
Yeah.
But they taught us and they brought us as factory fodder to work in the factory.
Gotcha.
We had woodwork classes, metalwork classes, 3 hours, a bit of history, British history, where you come from, what you back.
But effectively, the idea was you come out and work at a factory.
You go in a factory.
Gotcha.
So I started off at a firm in Barking called Gilby Engineering that made parts for vehicles.
Okay.
And my job was working 8 hours a day on a lathe. On a milling machine. I could still do it now in my sleep. But I had an interest in electricity and I wanted to be an electrician.
Okay.
So I used to go around in all my spare time looking for a job. But because I didn't have any qualifications, I didn't get a job.
Yeah.
And I went to a firm called J.H. Hayman in Freshwolf Barking, which was the electrical contractors. And I went in there and I saw the lady Margaret and asked her, and she said, no, you haven't got any qualifications, we haven't got any apprenticeships. But it was an old-fashioned prefab building where the doors were like smoking wire glass.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Which was standard factory. And I saw this shadow at the other side, obviously coming into the door as I was on my way out. So I opened the door, and I must have been standing to attention. And this guy, Reg Fulcher, he was a wartime sergeant, infantryman. And he looked at me, and he kept looking me up and down.
Gotcha.
Sergeant.
Yeah.
And he said, boy, what do you do? So I said, I'm looking for... No. He said, what do you do outside of work? I said, well, I'm in the Army Cadet Force. Oh, yeah, what do you do there? I said, well, I'm a sergeant. He said, you're 15 years old, you're a sergeant. How did you get that? I said, well, I worked on the courses, and I got promotion. He went, come with me, and he said to Margaret, there is a vacancy, give it.
Yeah, make one. Yeah.
So I got an apprenticeship as an electrician, and I served my time there. And I finished up as a junior engineer for the company at 27. But I had this passion about the cadet force and working with youngsters. And I saw an advertisement for the Metropolitan Police.
Okay.
And I was running a building at the old Battersea Power Station. So I applied for the Metropolitan Police.
At 27?
At 27.
Right, okay.
26, 20, just 27.
Okay.
I had 2 children.
Okay.
And...
What did the missus say?
Well, I had a chance of a short service commission. I was attached for 3 years, so she didn't want that, so I chose the police. And she was a bit confused. Well, why do you want to be a policeman? I said, well, I want to be a policeman. And I remember my last pay packet was £92 a week. My first pay packet at the train school was £23 a week.
Gotcha.
Which was a big gulp.
So it was a step down in pay, but it was what you wanted to do, right?
But it was something that I saw.
And where did that aspiration originally come from? Was it like never as a kid you thought that's what you wanted to do, or was it later in life when you had your experience in the cadets?
Yeah. We had our local police officers, and I used to torment them.
Gotcha.
And but I had this passion. I wanted to do something in a uniformed organisation, and I just happened to be it just fell in.
Yeah.
I just fell into it.
Yeah.
I was a little bit older, obviously.
Yeah.
I did the training school, and they made me class captain.
Okay.
Because I was the oldest, and a good friend of mine, Les Wright, he still lives around in there. He just come out of the Marines, and
Okay.
made us class captains, and we've been friends ever since. But I remember once, some of these, they used to do like in the army, then you stood toe to toe and punched 10 bells out of each eye.
Gotcha.
That was to see if you wouldn't run away. And
Gotcha. Yeah.
so that was very difficult.
Okay.
The training, you had to learn whole passages, word perfect by the next day.
Yeah.
You had to get 75%. If you didn't, they backloaded you once, and then that was it. You were out.
Yeah.
But it was a good. And then I went to Dagenham. I got posted to Dagenham. And I remember I walked in there and I pressed my kit up like I did in the army uniform, because it was the same.
Yeah.
Being brown, it was.
Yeah. Blue. Yeah.
As I walked in, they had a collator's officer there, which was the intelligence cell for each police station. And I walked in there, and there was a guy there, he's passed on there, it's Jack Stansfield. He took one look at me, and he knew me from the estate.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Well, I won't say on why is someone like you joining the Metropolitan Police?
Gotcha. Yeah.
I used to torment him.
Gotcha. So you used to chase you around, and suddenly you
We became really good friends.
Yeah.
Really good friends. And he come from the same background.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I started off at Dagenham, but I was one of those people, I'm nosy.
Gotcha.
And I had the good fortune to be what they called a thief taker.
Okay. Yeah.
I'd see people, I was nosy about people's movements, and
Yeah.
And I used to arrest a lot of people for crime. And my forte was burglars.
Okay.
A friend of mine, Ian McLeod, he was a parking boy as well. And he'd come out of the army. And of a night, in the collator's office, they had a huge map.
Okay.
So if you had stolen vehicles, they put a different colour pin, so you knew where the hotspots were.
Okay.
And you could track the movement of burglars.
Yeah, you could see him moving around.
So what we did, we used to go out and we put cotton across the, because Dagenham is full of back alleys.
Yeah.
And we put cotton across in a block.
Gotcha.
And we get the Tipex, the old,
Correction fluid. Yeah.
and we put that on the cotton.
Okay.
You could see it.
Yeah.
So when it wasn't there, you knew it had been broken.
Gotcha.
And then I used to go into the alleys and wait in the alley. Now, the old council houses in Dagenham had little windows in the back door, about 6-inch pane.
Okay.
When they broke, they made a sound that was like
Shattering.
no, it wasn't shattering. It was like a flat shatter.
Okay.
So
Okay.
and then you'd hear the burglar come down
Footsteps. Yeah.
because it always came out the same way as they went in.
Gotcha.
And we'd wait in the dark, in uniform.
Yeah.
And as they walked past.
What, in a bush or
No,
like? So
the alleys are all little alcoves.
Yeah. So
broken
there's loads.
fences.
Yeah. Gotcha. So there's always somewhere
And
to
you can
hide.
hear the crunch of glass.
Yeah.
And then when you put their hand on their shoulder,
Yeah.
as they pass you, there was a sound that is like nothing.
Yeah.
Most of them had to wash their trousers afterwards. But it went on from there, and if I jump forward before I jump back, when my mum died, I looked after her effects. And there were two pieces of local paper there. One was, man runs into a burning building 5 times to rescue people,
Okay.
and walked away afterwards. That was my brother.
Okay.
He should have got a very high wall, but he just ran into this building, children.
Gotcha.
And
So was he in the
No.
fire service? He just
No,
he was walking
he was just
walking down the road. Yeah.
saw the place and ran in.
Gotcha.
Ran out.
Yeah.
But, and then there was another one, burglars breathe a sigh of relief. DC Bryant has been transferred.
So when you moved on, it was like sort of.
Yeah.
Oh, thank Christ for that.
But
Yeah.
Dagenham was a fantastic place to work.
Gotcha.
People, Dagenham people, they stayed there. They were born.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of crime going on.
Do you think it's really you said something really interesting about being curious? Do you think that curiosity, just in life in general, is a quite a good trait to have? Because I actually think, like, especially people from a sort of a working class background, however you want to call it, the ones that I know that have done well are the ones that just carry on asking questions. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, to them to go, well, why can't I do that? Or why is he doing that? That curiosity is quite a nice trait to have. Yeah.
But when I was at school, I used to ask questions all the time.
Yeah.
And it didn't go down well once.
No.
And he smacked me around the ear.
Gotcha.
And ridiculed me in front of everybody.
Yeah.
I've been at school for about 3 days.
Yeah.
And I never spoke to him again in 4 years.
But that's because that environment, as you say, is trained to build factory fodder. They don't want you asking questions. But yeah, certainly I absolutely agree. So you was in Dagenham, you left Dagenham, and what happened?
Well,
then?
yeah, because I became a detective when I was at Dagenham, so that's where I became a detective. And when you were in the CID in those days, you only stayed at a place 3 years.
Okay.
And you'd come in on a Friday morning, you'd be posted Friday night.
Gotcha.
Didn't know where you were going. So I was on a crime squad at Dagenham. I was on a plainclothes Q car.
Okay.
We went around in this high-powered car in cities, unmarked car.
Yeah.
Night times and all that. And we used to get, every time I did it, we got the most arrests.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So it was good.
Yeah.
It was good. But I work with some really nice people, and some are in their 90s now. And an old boy called Johnny Farron, Auntie, we used to call him. He said to me, look, you come in the police. He said, you're 27 years old. He says, don't do anything. He said, to help them on their way.
Right.
He said, because they will always come again. And always do your job, be a professional, so no one can come up to you and say you've done something bad.
Gotcha.
And that's right the way through my police career, and training other young policemen, that's always stuck with me.
Yeah.
You know, and I used to say to these young police, if you do something for the best will in the world, but it's against the law, and you get caught, you go to prison, what will your children think of your dad?
Yeah.
What will your children's friends say?
Yeah.
So that was...
Yeah.
I mean, my dad, when I joined, he wasn't a lover of the police.
Gotcha.
And he said to me, they'll corrupt you.
Interesting.
And I never answered my dad back until that day, 27 years old.
Gotcha.
I pointed at him. I said, if they corrupt me, you haven't done your job.
Interesting. Yeah. Do you think back then and today there is a problem with corruption in police?
No, I don't think there is.
Okay.
There is corruption.
Yeah.
Wherever you go, there is corruption.
Yeah.
But I found that the people that wanted to work with me and I wanted to work with them, they were really good people.
Yeah.
And when you talk about corruption, some people did things not by the book, not for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, gotcha.
For the right reasons, you know. This guy, he'd done something, but they didn't do it, and people.
It wasn't malicious intention. It was.
But there were, like everything, there were people there.
Yeah.
That were corrupt.
But as we've already said, I think most people generally want to do the right thing at all times.
Why do you join the police?
Yeah, exactly.
You don't join the police to be a criminal.
Yeah, absolutely.
You join the police because you want to do something.
Yeah, you want to do some good. Yeah, absolutely.
And I've met some brave, resourceful policemen.
So we might come back to the police stories because I'm always fascinated by them. But I know now you're a deputy lieutenant, right?
Lieutenant, yeah.
Yeah, lieutenant. Sorry. So help me understand what that means.
Well, as I say, for my background, my police and I was in the TA as well as the cadets. I was finished up as an area commandant for the North East London.
Okay.
And I was asked if I'd like to become a deputy lieutenant.
Okay.
I didn't know much about the lieutenancy. But the lieutenancy goes back to the 11th century.
Okay.
When all the shires, the king appointed a Lord Lieutenant. His job was to raise forces for the ground and put down rebellion.
Okay.
That was their job.
It's not the same now, Mark, is it?
Obviously, we're involved.
Yeah.
So each of the counties has a Lord Lieutenant.
Yeah.
That position is a Queen's appointment.
Okay.
Each Lord Lieutenant can appoint deputy lieutenants. He has a Vice Lord Lieutenant, which is another Queen's appointment. But he has deputy lieutenants to assist him in his work in and around the shires, the shires. But obviously in London it's so big.
Gotcha.
They have, in each of the 32 boroughs, they have what's called a representative deputy lieutenant.
Okay.
So I was made a deputy lieutenant because of my work with the Army Cadet Force, the outreach projects.
The work you've been doing.
Upstanding citizen.
Okay.
So they do miss
You're doing a decent job. You're doing all right, Mark.
So, but obviously it's changed, and we've had a new Lord Lieutenant. When I got it, Sir David Brewer was a former Lord Mayor of London. He was a Lord Lieutenant.
Okay.
But I went for an interview, which was a lunch. And other people that we didn't know that it was an interview.
Gotcha, yeah.
He was there with his wife.
So you're invited to a lunch, you're having an informal chat, and
And I got talking to a guy called Sir Paul Grant, who was the headmaster of the Robert Clegg School.
Okay.
And when he took over the school, his life was under threat.
Gotcha.
From the old National Front, as it was.
Right.
He'd had firebombed his house, etc.
Gotcha.
I was one of the detectives that was
helping him out,
He didn't know. We were there. We were getting all the evidence, arresting these people.
Gotcha.
And we got talking, and we've been firm friends since.
Awesome.
And it's lovely. So you get a different commission. It's a Lord Lieutenant's commission. So that came about 2 months afterwards. I got another letter from him asking me to become the representative for the borough.
Okay.
So each of the boroughs have got a representative.
Yeah.
Now, in short, our role is to uphold the dignity of the Crown.
Okay.
We represent Her Majesty, presenting awards, Queen's Award for Industry, and just lately, in the last 3 years, we've been helping to officiate on the British Empire Medal Awards at the Tower of London.
Okay.
But in short, our role is to bring communities together.
Okay. So it's coercion, it's helping people get together.
We get different groups. I mean, in Havering, we've got some fantastic people.
Yeah.
We've got the local mosque, we've got the local synagogue, and we get them talking.
You know what's interesting as well? I think breaking down those barriers and just getting two blokes or two people, two women, whatever it is in the room, that's when you start to understand how similar we all are, right? Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can give you an instance.
Yeah.
Lee Sunderland, who's the rabbi, he made his parishioners go to the mosque. And they had a young lady there, a Muslim girl, and she explained Islam. And I'm a people watcher, and I was watching it, and you had old people from both communities, and then nudging each other and saying, well, that's what
we do that.
We do that.
Gotcha.
So after a while, they start talking. And it was just like old ladies talking. Old men talking.
Yeah.
And they had so much in common.
Yeah.
And then I sort of give a little talk on a tree, what I call, I made it up as a tree of life.
Yeah.
You know? We're the trunk, we're the tree, there's a trunk, it's got many branches.
Yeah.
It's got many roots.
We're all from the same tree.
We're all from the same tree.
Yeah, exactly.
And part of the conversation was about good people. Good people don't speak up.
Yeah.
Bad people speak up.
Yeah.
And that's why they get their way.
Yeah, it's fun.
Good people don't speak up.
Yeah.
And my message when I go and I do the Sikh community, all the different communities, is the good people have got to speak up.
Yeah. So what did you think of Mark?
He's alright too.
He's alright, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's good.
Right.
Well, next week we're going to be talking to Mark again and hearing a lot more of his amazing stories, and he'll be answering the questions of the podcast.
Question of the podcast. Woo!
Shall we get on with the end of the show?
Yes. Tis the end!
Oh, that went up in frequency and intonation. Oh, yeah. Oh, God, you're such a risk-taker. You're such a rebel. Can you remember what last week's question of the podcast was?
No.
It was an amazing one, and we got a really good response on
Don't
it.
get too hype.
What? I'll get as hype as you want.
I want you not to.
I'll get as hype as I want for a Tuesday, because obviously there's a hype limit for a Tuesday. The question of the week is...
5, you're currently at 9, you want to scale it back?
I'm going up to 15. What gadget... I'm going up to 12. What gadget do you look back on and go, OMG, I can't believe I own that. Because for me, I spoke about this last week, but it was my pager. I had a pager at one point that was...
The person you paged was your mum.
That is true. That is true. So...
Now that I text, I actually text more people than just my mum.
Right, all right. Right, listen. You were talking about your Great British Bake Off cake and putting a photo, an image of your dad and your mum on the Great British Bake Off cake.
Yeah, I love her, but just having her be the only person I text sounds a little bit sad.
'Twas a different time. 'Twas a different era. However, I am not the only one who's embarrassed of gadgets. We've got a decent amount.
Oh.
Brian Hill is a bit embarrassed. It's not really a gadget, but he is a bit embarrassed of his quality camel-coloured wooden beaded car seat cover. So he used to have one of them, apparently. Kath Keat said, I had a first Motorola cell phone and it weighed a ton. They were massive. They were like brick size back in the day. Have you ever seen?
I've seen them.
Seen them? I'm aware of Motorola's work. Sharon Adkins said she had a ditch phone for no obvious reason. Simon Burke had a CD Walkman.
Nothing wrong with a Walkman.
Have you had a Walkman?
No, there's nothing wrong with it.
No, I know, but when you put CDs in it and CDs skip all the time, that is a bit of an issue. Lucy Patrick says, I bet Charlotte doesn't know what half of these things are, so we'll test that in a minute. But I had an encyclopedia sat on a floppy disk.
I know what an encyclopedia is.
Do you know what a floppy disk is?
Well, the weird the box discs thingies, and you put information on them. I know what a floppy disk.
Oh, you're doing well so far.
Ah!
Jesus, do you know what Jesus is? Jesus, it used to take forever to download, and then you couldn't find what you were looking for. Google has replaced the encyclopedia, or Wikipedia has replaced the encyclopedia. It was actually quicker to look through the books. Mikey Fitzgerald, friend of the show, so is Lucy, clearly, said, as someone that now has a pet robot, I see no regrets in any gadget purchase I've ever made. Serena Duffy had a recorder like Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone. Have you seen Home Alone?
A recorder, like a fluty recorder, or
No,
a video recorder?
A voice recorder. Oh. Luckily, Argos. Do you know what Argos is?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's that shop.
It's that shop.
The one I did my camera film, my Polaroid film.
Oh, right, okay, you do know it. A recorder. Luckily, Argos did no quibble returns. Stu Morrison's got a list. Stu Morrison said, video glasses, video camera with an inbuilt hard drive. I had one of them. Handheld Steadicam. He likes video stuff. And an original 26-inch flat screen panel TV. Colours so weak, I had to keep my curtains closed to keep the sunshine out, which is amazing.
We do that anyway, even if we don't have to keep the sun out.
I know. Sam Lynn said a mini disc player in the mid-90s. I loved my mini disc player. That was like pre-iPod with these.
Love my iPods.
Oh, yeah. Jane Hodges said a HP Journado, which I had to Google because I didn't know what a HP Journado was.
HP, isn't it like a computer brand?
Yeah, it is. And they were little like digital organisers, like a digital diary before you had your diary on your phone. Why are you looking at me so weirdly?
I don't organise my stuff, so I don't really.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. And that was it. There were a few others that we got, but they were the main ones. And please feel free to continue to let us know.
And please never be ashamed of your technology. It may just be an awkward phase.
And on that rather strange note, see you next week.
Bye.